Hello, hello, hello folks, and welcome to something a bit different today, because you guys know me well enough by now. You know that I've got a super plan for sowing all of my seeds, growing all of my plants and everything that's going on. I've got everything worked out so far in advance, and I make the absolute best use of all the space I've got, to the point where I do not take prisoners. There are no freeloaders in my garden, let me tell you. But the thing is, somewhere along the line, you have to give yourself a bit of a nudge, a wee bit of a pinch, and remind yourself that we started gardening because it was good fun, and, you know, allow yourself to go back to having fun. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to sow some seeds today purely as an exercise in fun. So, you want to join me? Right, it goes like this. So the whole challenge was started by Scott Head, who is awesome, and if you don't follow him and go and watch his channels, I recommend it. I will put a link in the description for you to go and check him out. Apart from the fact he's just an awesome gardener and his videos are amazing, they're just really enjoyable as well. But he started a thing called the Single Seed Challenge, and I have never done it before. And let me be honest with you, the reason I haven't done it is because I completely misunderstood what it was about. So it's like this. I thought the whole thing was you sow one seed and you try and keep that seed going, hence the challenge part. But it's not, thankfully, because, as I said, I don't have space for freeloaders in the garden, so I wasn't going to just sow one seed and risk it not working, all that time and effort and everything. This was the old Eli's way of thinking of this. Actually, what it's about is this: sowing that one seed and just taking time to appreciate it, to watch it grow, to just see how awesome things are and just enjoy it. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to just sow one seed of one variety and that's it, and if it doesn't work, you have none of them. You can sow as many as you want, but the idea is, make a point of marking that one seed, give it its own label, give it a name. That's what I'm going to do. And that way, you can watch that one plant. And that's the point. It's all about just, I guess it's mindfulness in a way. It's about just taking time and appreciating and being there with the wee seeds. So I'm going to do 2 plants that are going to be my single seed challenges, and I'm going to tell you about them as I sow them today. And I'm quite excited because I've got 2 very different things. But as well as that, I have got my buddy Steve from Greenside Up is doing this with me this year, and he's grown some quite exciting things. So I tell you what, let me get set up and I'll pass you to Steve for just now, and then I'll jump back in a second. So Steve, do me a favour, tell them about your stuff.
The single seed challenge immediately perked my interest because it's simply something that I do anyway. No garden, no weather pattern ever stays the same or ever stays still, and nor should the gardener. And I know how to plant a tomato, I know how to grow courgettes. I've done it for years, but every year I want to refine that slightly. Every year I want to change something. Every year there's something that somebody else has done that I think, oh, I might try that a little bit. And then so bring it into my experience about how to grow that. And so I'm always testing, trialing and doing a different way. Even this year, I'm doing a pepper trial this year, trying to grow them in all various different types of ways. But that's just me because I know how to grow peppers, but I want to see which method is best. So, as I say, this single seed challenge falls right into my lap because it allows me to test something, and it's allowed me to think a little bit outside the box. So I've come up with 2 unique seeds. One I've grown before but for a different use, and one that I've never grown before but I've always wanted to. And it allows me to test within that sphere, which is part of my gardening psyche anyway. So as I say, this is why I was incredibly curious and why I've been speaking to Eli about it, and she's kindly doing this collaboration with me. So That's what initially sparked my interest, was this challenge where you're challenging yourself as apart from challenging everybody else.
Okay, so now I have to compete with Steve and make mine sound more interesting than his. I've got a flower seed and a food or vegetable fruit crop seed, because that's half the fun. They're two very, very different plants. They're going to grow very different ways, do their thing at very different times. They're both something that I always grow, which is why I thought this was perfect, because I grow them and I've grown them for years and I've got it down to the point now where I don't really even think about it anymore. I just do it. And this is a chance for me to stop and think. So the first one I'm going to tell you about then, I'm so excited. You guys know I absolutely adore these guys. Gazanias, Tiger Stripe, these are my total favourites. Right. Not only are these just gorgeous and fill the garden with such amazing colour, but I love photographing these as well. They're quite, how would I describe it? Architectural, I think, is a good way. It's that strong lines, you know, really, photos are just fabby, guys. But I'm just going off on one again because I'm just having fun today. So I'm going to do these. I'm going to sow lots of them because we actually do grow these. But I'm going to have one that's going to be my focus. He's going to be my special little guy. So that's my gazanias. The second seed I'm doing, again, it's something that I do every year, but this is a bit of a special one. So I don't have a fancy packet to show you. It's a pepper. Now you guys know, peppers are probably what I'm known best for. I'm just lucky with peppers. I have so much success. But this is something a bit different. So these seeds were a gift from Robin over at Robin's Container Garden, and they're some of her own special seeds. Here's the history of this, and this is why I think it's a good one for me to do. The original seeds for these, a few years back now, came from a supermarket pepper that Robin really, really liked, so she saved the seeds. Knowing full well it wasn't going to produce true to form because it would have been a hybrid. She's no idea what variety it was just a long red pepper. So she saved seeds and she got loads of plants and loads of peppers from the saved seeds the next year. But those peppers were yellow. So the original had been red. Obviously the traits of the parent plant that came through the next time round were yellow, and she's been carrying on every year to see. And I said I'd join in. So this is saved seeds. I think this is now third generation from an original hybrid that Robin was growing from. And we're going to see, we do not know what shape it's going to be, what size it's going to be, what colour the fruits are going to be. We know nothing, hence why I think this is going to be super exciting for a single seed. So, and I might even have a special way I'm going to actually grow them this year as well if it does well. But here's the next thing. Like I said, this is all about watching it and getting excited about it. So I'm going to start the seeds off in one of my module trays, just like normal, but that means I don't really get to see very much, do I? So what I've done is, I've just, very technically here, I've knocked up these little clear inserts that I'm going to put in. So there's my two, one for each seed, and that means I'm going to be able to actually watch the plant grow, watch its roots, properly see what's going on. And when it's time to pop that on, I've done the same thing again. They're stuck. I have got some of these plastic party cups. So when I pot these guys on, I'm going to pot them on into little clear pots. And then again, the next pot up will go bigger but clear again. And the whole way through this, I just want to watch. I want to see what happens. I want to feel excited about growing again. And I'm also going to learn. Because even though I grow these guys every year, and I do really well, and I feel quite confident, I don't ever take the time anymore to just watch. So that's what I'm doing. So, like I say, I'm not just sowing one seed of each, but I'm picking one particular seed to be my focus. Now, what I love about what Steve's doing is, like I was saying, how I've given myself permission to just enjoy this. just do this for fun, for me, for just watching these. Steve's doing the same thing, but what he's doing is he's challenging himself to grow a plant that's really an actual challenge for him to grow. He's never grown before. It's a bit different, a bit unusual, and well out of his usual ballpark. Let him tell you about it.
So what seeds am I choosing for this single seed challenge 2023? Well, I've got two. I'll tell you about one of them. The other one will be on my video, on my channel. But this one is a challenge. It's something I've always wanted to grow. Now, it comes from the mountainsides of the Canary Islands, and as such, it's a dryish weather plant and a warm weather plant. And it's one of the reasons I've never really grown it, because I've never had quite the conditions that plant needs to grow it. Always admired it. I've only ever seen one plant flowering, and that was down south near the Windsor. But it's called Echium. Where's the seeds? Not that you'll be able to see them from there anyway, but it's called Echium Wild Pretty Eye. It grows to about 6 foot tall, and it's called the Tower of Jewels because you'll get little flowers about this big smothering it. The stamens come out with blue pollen on. Absolutely gorgeous, and it's stunning, statuesque, and it just looks the absolute business. But there's a challenge to that, or I wouldn't be growing it. Not just the fact of the heat, it's the fact that it's a biennial, so it's a 24-month plant, and that could actually spread to about 3 years, so become a triennial. So it's not something I'm going to be able to complete this year. It's something I'm going to have to take from year to year and see if I can get through the winter. Now, a lot of these beds here are empty, whereas normally at this time of year they're quite full, but the last winter wiped everything out. So I've got to watch for that and protect these warm loving plants through the winter. Therein lies the challenge for me. Eli's also asked me about secrets. I don't do secrets. I don't keep anything secret at all. If I'm talking about something or showing something, I put in everything I know or I can think of at that moment. If there's an update later, when quite often I'll go home, oh, I should have mentioned that, I'll put it in another video. But that's one of mine, and it's a bit of a challenge. Echium Wild Pretty Eye. Absolutely gorgeous.
Now, the thing is, you don't get a lot of Gazania seeds for your pennies, but they're worth it. They're just so amazing. So you can see there, they're quite small little guys. And let's do this then. So number one, here we go. This is number one. This is my special little guy who's a Gazania. He's going in here. Okay? And all these ones, I'm going to sew at this end. So these are just my normal ones. Okay. That's that done. My next special little guys then is the peppers that Robin has given me. Don't know how many she's given me actually, hang on. Oh, she's given me a few. That's cool. So again, kind of normal pepper seeds you would expect. The big excitement with these then is what colour are they going to be? What shape are they going to be? Are they going to be prolific? Will they end up being my pepper of choice? Special little guy pepper is going in this second one. And then his buddies. And there we go. And we'll see how this goes. And I need a label. I said I'm going to give these guys names so that I can properly just treat them like my babies and keep an eye on them. So for just now, they are just my special little guys. Special little guy Gazania and special little guy Pepper. But obviously they're going to need names. So, give me their names. I need a name for the pepper and a name for my little Gazania in the comments below. But that is it. It is that simple. The single seed challenge for 2023. I've put a hashtag in the description. If you click on it, you'll be able to go and see all of the other people that are doing this in their videos. And you'll be able to go and click on the link in the description to Steve's channel if you want to go and see what he's doing with his as well. That's it. I will keep you guys up to date. It's going to be exciting. See you folks.